got some motherfucking design on right now. Bring it down, nigga, clown. I got 3 old guys, I'm wild.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will discuss a tragic event in Indonesian history, a heroic story full of political intrigue and power plays. It's about Lieutenant Colonel Untung, a figure who is now remembered as the perpetrator of the September 30th movement of the Indonesian Communist Forces, also known as G30S PKI. But whose side was never revealed. Was he a hero or a pawn of a grand conspiracy? Let's get started. In 1948, in Wonogiri, there was a very heroic incident. At that time, the Dutch launched the second Dutch military aggression and tried to arrest Bung Karno and Bung Hatta. The Dutch deployed a unit of 150 troops with very complete weaponry, but their efforts were blocked by Indonesian army troops who numbered only 30 people with simple weapons. But amazingly, these 30 Indonesian army troops could actually beat back the Dutch troops. This event was very heroic, but it was never told and never written down in history books. Why was this story omitted from the history? Because the leader of the Indonesian army troops at that time was Lieutenant Colonel Untung, the person who was considered the commander of the G30S PKI event. He was propagandized to be so evil without us realizing that he actually had a very extraordinary service, and all his crimes turned out to be fictitious. So, in this video, we will explain the defense efforts of Lieutenant Colonel Untung. This story is inseparable from Bung Karno's grand vision of the Nusantara Raya. Bung Karno wanted a large country that included the former Dutch East Indies, Malaysia, Brunei, parts of the Philippines, and Papua. However, this idea was opposed by the British, who didn't want Malaysia to join Indonesia. As a result, Bung Karno was angry and felt betrayed. The confrontation with Malaysia began. Bung Karno's increasingly anti-Western attitude worried the army. Moreover, Bung Karno was getting closer to the communists, sparking conflict between the Indonesian National Army and the Indonesian Communist Party. Major problems began to arise as President Sukarno moved further away from Western countries and closer to the communist bloc. This made some parties, especially the army, begin to worry about the direction of Sukarno's political policies. It should be noted that at that time, the army was filled with santri who had strong views on nationalism and tended to reject the internationalist ideology of communism. Meanwhile, the Indonesian Communist Party tried to approach Sukarno with the aim of making him the party's protector and main supporter. With a clever strategy, the Indonesian Communist Party began to infiltrate the army, and vice versa, the army tried to infiltrate the Indonesian Communist Party to monitor and thwart their plans. The situation created a very complex political intrigue. The army and the Indonesian Communist Party suspect each other, while Sukarno played his role as the center of power. In this conflict, one of the steps taken was the discourse of arming the people, an idea proposed by Chinese leader Zhou Enlai. Sukarno adopted this idea to create a Chinese-style universal people's defense. Unfortunately, this step was opposed by the army. For the military, arming the people would only give the Indonesian Communist Party a huge advantage. as they could potentially use the weapons to stage a slow coup against the government. This fear made the army even more wary. They suspected that the Indonesian Communist Party was using this idea to strengthen its power. Thus, a conspiracy within the military emerged, known as the General Council. This council was formed by several high-ranking military officers, and they devised a strategy to protect the country from the influence of communism. However, the issue of the Council of Generals also reached the ears of the communists. The party suspected that the Council of Generals was planning a coup against Sukarno. This is where the plan emerged from the Indonesian Communist Party to counter the coup plan with steps that were considered a counter-coup. In the midst of this situation, Lieutenant Colonel Untung, a Cakrabirawa commander loyal to Sukarno, became a central figure. As a soldier trusted by Sukarno, Untung had orders to keep the president safe from any threat, including a military coup. However, his position was very complex. First, he was a subordinate of Sukarno, who asked him to protect the country. Secondly, he was under the influence of the Communist Party of Indonesia, which encouraged him to act quickly before the army made its move. Third, he was part of the military under Suharto. With all this confusion, Untung decided to act. Based on the information he received, he suspected that a military coup would take place on October 5, 1965, the armed forces' birthday. So, Untung and his troops moved quickly on the night of September 30, 1965 to prevent the coup from happening. Untung and his troops arrested the generals who were allegedly members of the General Council. Untung took such desperate actions to carry out a coup because he was provoked by communist people. They said that Untung had to stop the coup that would be carried out by the army and slaughter all the council of generals. Untung, who was innocent at that time and didn't understand about politics, just wanted to save the president and the country from the coup that would be carried out by the army. So he betrayed his own army in favor of greater loyalty to the country and the president. However, this operation ended in chaos, which became known as the September 30th movement of the Indonesian Communist Party, commonly known as G30S PKI. Untung made an announcement over RRI, Radio Republik Indonesia, stating that he was taking action to save Sukarno from a coup. Unfortunately, this move was considered a coup by Suharto and the rest of the military. Suharto, who brought in allied troops, counterattacked and thwarted Untung's attempt. In an instant, Untung became a fugitive. In his escape, Untung faced many misfortunes. While trying to escape to Brebes on the advice of communists, he fell asleep on the bus and missed his destination. Waking up in Tegal, he panicked and got off the bus, forcing the driver to stop. However, his action caused a small commotion that attracted the attention of other passengers. A passenger who lost his wallet suspected Untung was a pickpocket and shouted at him. Untung was arrested by the locals and taken to the local Koramil. After his identity was revealed as Lieutenant Colonel Untung, he was arrested, tried, and eventually sentenced to death. Ironically, he was punished not as a hero who wanted to protect the country, but as a traitor who was thought to be planning a coup. Since then, all of Lieutenant Colonel Untung's services and achievements have been erased from Indonesian history. He is remembered not as a hero, but as a traitor and slayer of generals. Now, what do you think? Was Lieutenant Colonel Untung really a traitor or just a victim of political intrigue? Please write your opinion in the comment section. Well, Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. I'm Azhar Intan Pratiwi. See you in the next video.